Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 44th edition of Alabama Crimson Tide Live, all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football. Also simulcast on Florida State at The Voice College Football, because we will later have Florida State co-host from Florida State Wire, Blogging with the Boys, at Florida State Live, co-host Monday nights on Florida State Voice College Football, Matthew Lennox, joining us at the later part of the show to preview the Alabama-Florida State matchup. I'm yours truly, Jackson Johnson. I have with me are my regular co-hosts, Coach Johnny Burtz and Jeffrey from Only Talk Sports, where he's talking about Alabama football every single day, or at least he tries to. And let me tell you something, folks, you're going to be in for a wild ride, including this Monday night. How you doing today, gentlemen?
Doing great. Excited that the season's getting ever closer.
Doing well. Great weekend. Recruiting is up, and all things positive for the Crimson Tide.
Oh man, I am glad you're talking about recruit going up, because we're moving on up in Tuscaloosa. But first, to start things off, we're going to tell you all about the Alabama Crimson Tide memberships on Alabama The Voice College Football for $2.99 member, where you can get loyalty badges next to your name and custom emojis to use in the comments, in the live chat, and you get member shout-outs for each show. For $4.99 a month, you can become a Saban disciple. From yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Coach Johnny Burst, Jeffrey Only Talk Sports, Coach Smook Hines, and Manny Wilson from the Alabama Primetime Live Show, where you can hang out with each of us and you get priority replies to the comments for sure. And $9.99 a month, you get the big one. You can connect on social media with each of us and give out content requests just by becoming a Bear Bryant legend. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor bad weather of any kind, including this miserable Alabama heat, is going to put a stop to us from fulfilling your content request, all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football. And the YouTube membership link is in the chat, so if you want to become a YouTube member of Alabama The Voice College Football, come on in. The water's fine.
Yeah. Oh, brother.
We don't bite. We don't bite, do we, Jeffrey?
No.
We don't bite, do we?
We might on the football field, though. But
oh, man. One of our callers thinks we bite sometimes, but it's like, that's because he's not a Bama man. But,
it's all good. All good.
Oof. Well, we've got some huge news. Huge news. And this happened a little bit before the show started. He's a wide receiver who is committed to the Crimson Tide over Illinois. Man, we're getting everybody from Illinois, and we're getting them from Vandy. We got Owen Cabell. He is 6'2" from Nashville, Tennessee, CPA high school, 3-star, but he plays more like a 5-star. And we'll show a little bit of the highlights for those that are just tuning in. This is pretty good. I'm loving that we're getting all the 3 stars before everybody else is getting them, before they become 4 stars, 5 stars.
Yeah, and you got to find those hidden gems. I mean, coaches, and you look at film and stuff, and maybe you're looking at the 5-star recruit, but if you're smart, you're looking also around that field or that film, and you're looking at other players too, and then you find those hidden little gems that people don't know about, and you just reel them in, and it is really a lot more rewarding sometimes than reeling in the 5-star. These guys that just come in under the radar and just all of a sudden blossom and prove to be, have that it factor. So it's really positive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing is, when you have these underrated guys like this, like Jackson made a great point, is that you're landing them before other people find them. Because, I mean, clearly, if Alabama's interested and wanted to, bring this guy aboard, he's really good. And you see his film; it's solid stuff. it's like in other programs are probably starting to generate some interest. Like maybe they were starting to, because in those recruiting circles, when guys are starting to pick up steam, and like Alabama jumped on it before anyone else really did. So definitely, I think that's big.
Here's a little backstory to that. When I was coaching high school football, I had a coach from Duke. All right, and he was, looking at, doing the little recruiting trip, whatever. You got any players and stuff like that. And so I told him, I was like, we got this one guy, not being talked about a lot, but pretty dang good player. And sure enough, season started, and guys started making waves and doing exactly what I thought and most people thought he would do. Just outstanding player. And sure enough, coach called me back and said, man, this, we need this guy right here. Can you help us? And I said, I sure can, because the guy really literally wanted to go to Duke because he was interested in medical field and stuff like that, and literally was interested in Duke. And so sure enough, boom. And so what I'm trying to say is sometimes coaches, you go in looking at one guy, and then the coach will say, hey, I got somebody everybody's missing on, and then boom, you find that little nugget.
There you go. And on that last play we saw of Cabell, we see he's a humongous blocker. He's doing a great job. Nice job of the blocking.
Yep.
And we see that Alabama is back in the top 10 with the recruiting class they've got. I told everybody, we're getting close to going back up to the top 5. We're getting back up there.
Yeah, well, I mean, we only have 14 commitments. I mean, you look at Georgia, they got 23. And every commitment, Alabama is, I mean, they're, 5'8", 5'9". They're going to be around, I don't know which one you're at, 247, or what scale do
I'm using 247, and I'm using On3 for this, because, like, we want the people to, like, look at, like, where we're ranked according to each of these sites.
Yeah, I was using Rivals, and they go at 6.0, and so I was looking at everybody. Alabama's 5'8", 5'9", 5.8, 5.9, and but I mean, you've only got 14 commitments. How many is say right here? 15. Yeah, one 15. Today. So yeah, there you go.
And Clemson's got 20.
Yeah, everyone that's above us has more commits, and because I was having a conversation with Mark about this the other day. And he told me that when you look at the player average, we're number 2 of all the teams, right behind Ohio State when it comes to player average. So, yeah, it's the amount of commits that's why we're ranked lower right now. Once we get up to the 20s, 25 commits, we're going to be right up there in the top 5 easily.
Yeah, and somebody will eventually come along with a little metric where it's the value, not the number of commits that increases the whatever, it's the value, the level, value of the commits. And there you have a more honest whatever. And so these guys are going to, Southern Cal is going to use this in the moment, try, we got to, that kind of stuff. But seriously, I mean, you got to look at the level, the value of the commitments and go from there, not the number.
Well, and I'm looking at On3 or Rivals, because, like, as of July 1st, Rivals is officially bought by On3. So,
really, Rivals is done. Gosh, they've been around forever.
That's crazy.
Wow, they've been around for 20 some odd years. They were the boom.
It's still there as we see it, but it's just
but I mean, it's not. It's going to change. But I mean, they were the originators, man.
Oh yeah. So, like, I mean, I'm using, like, the URL, like, it's on3.com, but it's showing Rivals. But
gosh, I wonder how much they paid for it.
Millions. I mean, well, Shannon Terry, that's the funny thing. He founded Rivals, 247, and On3. I mean, Rivals got bought by Yahoo. 247 got bought by CBS. On3, I'm kind of just, I think he's catching them all like it's his own personal Pokemons.
Smart guy. You would think these idiots would have whatever they used to, the old competitive clause in the contract that we're buying your whatever, but for this period of time, you cannot create another, and compete and that kind of stuff. But evidently, it's crazy.
Oh man. So Alabama is ranked 9th according to this site on 3 / rivals. I mean, I guess we're just calling it that until we get
Alabama's 2 or 3. I don't know who's number 1. Blah blah. Who cares? But right now,
USC's
Alabama's 2 or 3.
but we saw how being a number 1 recruiting class can get you.
Yeah, again, like we said earlier, it's not the amount of players; it's the quality of players.
Quality.
Say the line, Jeffrey.
Is definitely top 3. So
yeah.
Oh man, it's like I'm just kind of like for USC. Say the line, Jeffrey.
Mid.
Oh man, that's one for the compilation books. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, I mean, Alabama is going to be back in the top 5 for the recruiting classes. They will.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with Auburn.
Oh yeah, because like Wednesday morning, we're gonna see what happens with Cedarian Morgan. Like, is he gonna go to Alabama or is he gonna go to Auburn? I'm thinking he's leaning towards Alabama.
Yeah.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
That's a no for him.
Jack, where's he from? I can't remember. Uh-oh.
Did Jackson freeze?
You got to pay an internet, and you got to get that.
Yeah, like usually it's me that's freezing.
Yeah,
I thought it was me.
I'm sitting down here in the cellar, and I got perfect.
I know.
Jack, man, pay your bill.
I've got it paid. It's just being mid.
You got to get an extender down there, man. You got to get a buy. You go to Best Buy or whatever, Office Max, get you an extender, extend that Wi-Fi signal down there in that cellar, wherever you are, basement.
Oh man! So
hey Jackson, should we do a poll for the Cedarian Morgan, for the commitment, whether we have a watch party for it or not? Should we do a poll?
Jeffrey, I have 3 words. Yes, definitely, absolutely.
But Jack, you didn't tell me where he's from.
He's from Benjamin Russell High School, Alexander City, Alabama.
Alexander City, yeah. They used to Champion Apparel. Y'all remember Champion Apparel with big C, that kind of stuff? Yeah, that's no, it wasn't Champion. It was Russell. Russell down there. It was Russell. Man, they used to own apparel. I guess they got bought out, or I guess maybe they're still in business. I don't know.
There we go.
I think Russell's still in business, right? I think so.
Yeah, I remember they were the top dog for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, down there in Alexander City. Benjamin Russell.
Well,
that's most that leans Auburn that way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Lake Martin down there. It kind of leans, Auburn area.
The little bit of fans they got, right?
Yeah. Y'all get into this EA Stadium stuff.
We'll definitely get into that. We would love to hear your take. But first,
I got a couple of statistics on that stuff.
First, what are we doing to get like perfect stuff for 4th of July? Where are we getting that? I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I think it's Amazon.
Well, I hope it's made in the USA.
I think that doppelganger of Mark Rogers has the answer. It's like going to the answers from the genie, and I love it.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the voice of college football.
That is right, folks. Shop on Amazon using the link to support the voice of college football. You don't need to buy the product displayed. Doesn't cost you a penny, and you get the same shopping experience, especially with that link down below. Alrighty. Well, Coach, let's hear your opinion on these stadium rankings from EA Sports College Football.
I'm excited to hear this. Jackson has been hyping me up.
All right, so are you going to pull up the rankings?
Oh, absolutely. Let's get them. Here we go.
Oh, these idiots. Idiots. They have no. They just keep.
Oh my
going
God.
on.
Oh, well, I got the EA Sport. Here it is. This is our guy, Nick Shepkowski from Notre Dame on Sports Illustrated, giving the ranking.
I looked on that, and I really did not. Yeah, keep going. Go. Keep going. I looked, and did they give the
Indiana? Indiana.
I mean, did they give the metrics on any of this?
No, they didn't have Iowa State in the top 25. Like, that's the thing, though.
Oh, okay.
Well,
anyway, I mean, all you got to do is just go. I don't know what they're thinking. Just go to the records. You know, the last. You can go all time and get the all time records, or you can go do the last 3 years, or you can do 1 year. I don't know what they chose as their metrics, but I mean, anyway, some of these, I think, guys, I think a lot of it is just hype. I get so tired of the LSU played at night and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's a joke. It's old. It's ran its course, that kind of stuff. The Florida State, and that's the toughest environment. They're going to throw the spear, all that kind of stuff. Ohio State, they're going to run out there and dot the I. Toughest place. You know what I'm saying? Toughest place to play, all that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's just, you just look at the, look at the numbers. And the numbers don't lie. And Alabama's not number one. I wish it were, but they're not number one. If you go by winning percentages, now here's a caveat. Okay. All right. So how we know Appalachian State went to Michigan and pulled a big upset and that kind of stuff. I mean, that's, the outlier. I mean, you throw that and then, the easy and the toughest and throw those out, and then you go to the middle. But anyway, overall, I mean, by winning percentage, I mean, all time is Ohio State. When they play at home, Ohio State has a 90% chance of winning.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they dot the I, I mean, they back it up. You know who's second all time?
Who?
Oregon.
Oh.
Oregon. You play Oregon at home, they've got an 84% chance of winning. And then you go to next, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Yeah. Rolling your eyes. Oh, you can't go by all this, these theatrics. They're going to throw the spear and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I don't know the schedule and those type of scenarios, but you look at the winning percentage. Oh, Penn State, they want to do the wide out, and that's going to make it tough.
I do think that Oregon and Oklahoma benefited from being in easier conferences, though.
Now, there you go.
I will say that because the SEC is so tough that it is easier to lose at home, theoretically. Yeah. I will say. But I do agree that, that you can't sometimes just base it off, like what you think, like blindly. Like you have to look at the numbers. But sometimes the numbers can be a bit skewed by different circumstances. Because long portions of history, the Big Ten's been not very good. And Ohio State's just dominated the league. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and then out of conference schedules, who they choose to bring in and play at home and stuff like that. And you always have the big upsets, and Alabama understands that. But I mean, historically, so I mean, if you look historically, Alabama is at 80 at home. Alabama has an 82% chance of winning. So I mean, if you're better, I mean, if you're going to Las Vegas, Alabama plays at home. You got to, and these other schools, you got a good chance of winning. Okay. Now, every now and then, but here's the thing. Sometimes they don't, choose a few little cream puffs. They pull in, somebody big, and like Alabama went up, Wisconsin and all this other kind of stuff. But typically that's the scenario. So I know EA's got Alabama. Alabama's not number one. So I don't know what their metrics are and stuff. And it is kind of comical sometimes, Jack, when they come up with these little. I have no. What are they thinking? Just go all-time records. I mean, the proof's in the history.
And that was for top stadiums, right?
Yeah.
They had Indiana in the top 25. I saw, right, Jackson? They were like 19th or something.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's
Indiana historically hasn't been anything. Like you got Indiana there. Like, look at that, Indiana at 18. I mean, I'll take it. I mean, that's great.
Oh, this is too funny. Like, so
but I mean, these guys. I don't. So I didn't see the metrics. I mean, they're basing over the last year where Indiana went undefeated. Whoa, that's a great metric. But I mean, you look at history and you can find the toughest places to play. And I just get tired of the commentators and they're Baton Rouge at night and the whiteout at Penn State and Dotney at Ohio and blah, 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 that's tradition. Okay, that's great. That's tradition. But making it the toughest place to play.
Yeah, at Arizona State at 14. Texas Tech is at 13. It's like Texas Tech? Are you kidding me right now?
Oh, God.
I mean, that's abysmal. Like, you can make fun of IU all you want, but Texas Tech?
Oh,
how is Iowa State not in that top 25? I feel like EA Sports has gotten a little lazy with their top.
Duke's at 23. Auburn should be ranked for nothing.
Yeah, Auburn, I saw it too. Auburn should not. I mean, Duke.
Abysmal.
Why
is A&M 8? What they done to deserve to be 8?
I mean, if you're an ACC team and you're scared, you're worried about going into Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham, North Carolina, to play Duke. Oh my gosh, this is the really toughest place to. I've been there many times.
Duke is not a tough place to play at all. Like, at least Indiana last year, because they were good, they were starting to sell out the crowd. It was pretty decent. I wouldn't have them here, but, it was decent. But, yeah, I mean, Louisville, I mean, you can make a case for Louisville over Duke. I mean, that they're better than Duke, for sure.
Yeah. SMU? I'm scared to death. Oh, man, it's a tough place to play.
How is A&M 8th? I don't understand that. A&M has not done anything to prove that they are top 10 worthy. Like, your national title drought is older than Bud's Bunny. That is bad. That's bad. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I sit there and I was scratching my head and I was like, "What lunacy!" And so I said, "I'm gonna go look this up." I have when I started looking at that, and I knew Alabama would not be number one, even though I'm Crimson Tide and we're here, always talking about them. But I knew not number one, Bryant Denny. I was down there when Oklahoma and Mike Shula in Oklahoma came in and won, so I was there when Georgia won. Was when Saban was there. So.
No.
Well, he's got to get it together, man. They got to. I don't know if they're over. Where's that company founded? Is that Is that a Korean company? Is that some guys over there in Seoul, Korea, coming up with this crap?
That's a good question, Jackson. EA's been around a long time. Like I know, like the original PlayStation 1. Had EA.
They're in Redwood City, California. That's where they're.
Who owns the company? Who's the owner? Are you looking it up, Jack?
Yep. Cam Weber's their president. Daryl Holtz their vice
Who's the
president.
majority stockholders?
Oh God. I feel like the stockholders don't stay up late till
Man.
1, 2 a.m. for college football.
Man, these gamers gotta quit gaming, man. They've been playing the little paddle.
Well,
Too
we're
long.
gonna get to this super chat because Dan's got some good numbers for us, and Dan the Diesel Freak with the $5 super chat. We appreciate very much, good buddy. And
Yeah.
he says, "I have a bet with Will, and he'll lose $500, and I'm confident." Well, we appreciate the super chat.
Yeah,
Hey.
hopefully Will doesn't lose $500. I will say, getting
Dude,
back to the EA point, though.
That's some serious stuff right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say back to the EA point, what's even worse than those rankings for the teams and stadiums and stuff, what's worse is the player ratings. That's even worse. People
We'll do
get
that.
so mad about the player ratings because sometimes you'll have a really good player who's like rated like low in the game. And then other guys that are not even good are like top rated players in the game. People don't get it. So the player ratings are even more, but that's more for like the gamers themselves. Like we could just pick apart the team rankings, but people do pick apart the player ratings. I know that for a fact.
Well, EA's they need to talk to us. They need to listen to this. They need to, come contact us, pay us a few little fees or whatever, and we'll give them a little more credibility with the rankings.
I agree. That would be great.
SMU.
Hey, I mean, I'm in. I'm ready to earn a little easy money.
SMU. Oh my gosh, the Pony Express.
Oh man. So, and of course there's. Oh yeah, we got the top 25, but we haven't gotten to the top 25 offenses, according to EA Sports College Football 26.
Indiana at number 11.
Oh,
Hold on there. Scroll that sucker back down. I had to put on my glasses.
there we go.
Alabama at 7.
Texas 91. That's just based on Arch. Nah. Anyway, Clemson,
Arizona State.
Oh my God.
LSU. Oh no. Unreal.
These guys, man, they got to quit smoking that stuff. That meth is not good for you. Hoosiers. Georgia, well, I guess Georgia's at 13. Wow.
Indiana's above Georgia.
BYU, Baylor. What is Robert Griffith Jr.'s son gonna play?
Yeah, Baylor, it's like they were not good last year. Boise
State,
Nebraska.
Nebraska, the Cornhuskers. What, they gonna come back to the wishbone?
Crouch is back. Scott Frost.
I think Trojan Fight put it in.
Hold on, Jack. Is this EA Sports or eSports?
EA Sports.
The same company?
No, that's eSports.
So eSports is doing an article about EA Sports. All right, okay, we got it.
All right, man. These guys got to be from Korea. That's North Korean. Pungjung Wow. This is Pungjung Wow stuff. Some guys just co-opted the little typewriter up there, the little keyboard. We have some fun.
These ratings are not good.
That's a joke for all you little millennial, woke people.
You don't have to worry about me and Jackson. We're Gen Z. We're all right. The millennials, they'll get over it. They'll get over it.
I mean, it looks like
I barely made it out as Gen Z.
Thank goodness.
It looks like it came from some whatever at Pungjung whatever, locked in and whatever. Indiana. This makes no sense. No credibility.
I mean, Indiana did almost have a Heisman QB last year. He did finish 6th of the voting, so they got to give him a little bit of a pass. But
No, show them in the metrics. I mean, these people got to put the metrics first. I want to know what you're basing this on.
Yeah, some of these are really bad, though. I don't get it at all. I would have Indiana lower, but Defense is Indiana at 14. Let's go.
Hey, go back, Jack. Hold on. What are we talking about here?
Bama's number 1 in defense.
No, I won't argue with that. I will not argue with that. They got a lot coming back on defense. I'm not saying they're number 1, but I don't have a problem with that as far as what they've done here.
Texas Tech at 9.
What's Texas Tech doing to be 9?
This one, yeah. But I mean, this one's pretty easy because all they've done is just rank the historical defenses. But go down. I mean, you're looking at Duke,
Kansas State,
16, Pittsburgh,
Iowa, Florida. I will say the defensive ratings are better.
Yeah,
it's still not perfect, but it is better than the offenses.
Well, let's just. Well, yeah, and that one right there, they're just all named schools and branded schools and all traditional schools. I mean, the other stuff is kind of, I don't know. Anyway, amazing. They just post this crap. I don't see any metrics. What are they basing it on? Number of returning starters, transfers, all this. I have no idea. Juniors, seniors, I have no idea. Maybe there's a metric posted somewhere, but it's probably in the little, need a microscope to read it.
It's nuts. But like the offense, defense, I kind of feel like they're not watching the Texas schools enough. I mean, oh man. Well, Austin's got a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, bring it on.
He's asking if you play Madden.
Do I play Madden?
Yep.
Do I look like I play computer games?
I have, but yeah.
If I'm going to play football, I'm going to be in the backyard. There's going to be a ball, and there's going to be about 10, 15 other people about my size, hopefully. And that's how I play. I ain't going to play something.
I mean, I do both. I mean, I'll play outside, but I mean, I also play the computer games. I mean, it is more gratifying when you catch an awesome pass outside than in a game, though. Because I mean, you just hit the button.
But I've never played computer games. Only computer game I ever remember playing was that. What was that one? It was called Centipede. And
Centipede,
yeah. Thing and and I did. I will say I played a little Pac-Man.
My dad loves Centipede and Pac-Man.
When they started that little Atari and the little handheld football and that kind of stuff, and you were click, 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 and trying to and all that kind of stuff, kind of like Pong. Remember the first computer game was Pong.
Yeah, the Magnavox Odyssey.
You ever heard of that one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A little square and back and forth. And after that, I played a little bit of that, and I was like, it's stupid. Give me a ball, let me throw it.
Yeah, I mean, video games have gotten a lot more advanced since then. But, I mean, it's still pretty much the same concept. It's just there's a lot more going on than just a little square and a little ball that's a pixel,
Yeah. Now, if I could play. All right. Now, I remember some of them were, if I could, program my own, and I'm sure they have it. I don't know. But I ain't got time for it at my age. Time's running out. All right. But where you could draw up plays and I could, and I could create my own offensive scheme and I could say, all right, and I could call it in, all right, strong right, 311, YZ, X, post, whatever. And if I could do that and then the players would run it and that kind of stuff and I could be behind my quarterback there, I'd do that.
That would actually
I would have done
be
that
awesome
20 years ago. I'd have done that 20 years ago, but right now I ain't doing that.
That would be awesome, right, Jackson? Where you could do the play into the thing, man. Like you're the actual coach with a headset. That'd be cool.
Cool.
Oh, and I'd like it where you could have, they make it where you could form somebody up doing a little defense. You got that jaw up and that helmet snap back and boom. They got that game. I might be interested in
it. You never know. I mean, maybe they'll come out with it.
But if we're gonna do click, 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 click.
Yeah, you had the Wii. Remember the Wii where you do like a tennis racket and a bowling ball? Yeah, I mean, the Wii was cool. I mean, it was kind of cool, but
Yeah, and then the little thing would fly off your hand and go, whoa.
Yeah, I always wore this wrist strap because otherwise I'd have put a hole in my TV. So didn't want to do that.
I will say before we tell everybody about the Voice College Football website, we have another super chat from Dan the Diesel Freak for $5. We appreciate it very much. And he says, I'm sitting out by a cornfield listening to the three biggest Crimson Tide clowns, and Georgia is going to beat their ass and hurt them bad.
They gotta love Dan the Diesel Freak, right, Jackson?
Hey, Dan, hey, please, we're gonna have a blackout. Dan, you're gonna be there. If you're at the stadium, you're gonna be wearing black. If you're out there at the cornfield, you're gonna be wearing black. You're gonna be playing some ACDC back and black. I'm with you. Cornfield band.
Back in black.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Can't wait.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's do the blackout, man. What was that, retro 08? We go back 08.
We appreciate the super chat contribution.
Yeah,
Dan.
you got it, Dan. Hey, it'll be a good game, guaranteed.
Can't wait. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Be great if we come out with another dub, though. You know, that'd be awesome.
Just wear black.
Like I'm getting a laugh out of that comment, and I'm laughing about the barbecue you boys call. Like, I love that. Like,
You gotta eat that Bama meat, man.
Oh man. Yep. So that was from 3 days before.
What kind of rub? I wonder what kind of rubs on that. I gotta go, guys. The ladies upstairs banging that foot. Oh, it's been fun.
You make us laugh, Dad. Like, oh my god.
You have a good one, Johnny. Appreciate it.
I will be seeing you soon, Coach. Oh my god, that was that was quite an experience. But you can check out Coach Burt's on Johnny Burt's 5 on Facebook and give him a follow, and Johnny H. Burt's on Instagram. We're still trying to find his @ account somewhere, but we will get it located to you for sure. Oh, I can't quit laughing at the quote. Like, it's just so funny. Oh, man. But, of course, you got the Voice College Football website where you got... Get out of there, ad. Dan, can you post... You might want to put a comment to get those ads, ads away. We appreciate, man. But yeah, you can check out the Voice College Football website where you got some of the top-notch hosts, where you got Alec Keyser, Bo Underwood, Cam Honesty, Coach Spook, all including myself, Jeffrey, and Coach Burt's. You got all of us all right here. You got the man himself, Mark Rogers. And we've got a team of writers. We've got them all. Leanne Herring, John Niemo, Alec Keyser. And you got the team channels. If your favorite team is not on there, don't worry. We will get it added. And you got the forum discussions. All of it. All right here at the Voice College Football website. You're not going to want to miss it. And you got the news articles, including some of our latest shows. And we got, well, what do you know? A little article where I went over my take on Ryo Kelly flipping from Rutgers to Alabama. Another win for the Crimson Tide. All right there. And there's plenty more, but we won't. You'll be able to tune into the Voice College Football website. So tell your friends, family, and cashiers opposed about the magic that the Voice College Football website is bringing you, coming to a college football season near you. And we got another super chat from Dan. Oh my God. And he says, it will be a blackout and they will beat their ass and barbecue them. So,
think we're going to get barbecue, Jackson?
No. I don't think anybody's getting barbecued between
maybe
Alabama
Georgia, but you know.
I mean, they do have a bad OC of Mike Bobo. He's terrible.
Mike Bobo decision.
Oh God, he's
Mike
terrible.
Boo Boo.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Hey,
boo
boo-boo.
boo, go get this thinking about that. Oh man, we appreciate the $5 contribution, Dan. We appreciate it very
Always
much.
appreciated.
You make us laugh with these, like, cause like you're funny, man.
It
Like,
is. I mean, he's hilarious. That's what I'm saying. Like, can't hate on Dan.
oh,
Dan's
man.
great.
Oh man, it's just too funny. Like, note to self, you got to call the Stephen A. Smith show if you can, or call into one of those political radio shows, or call in on Feinbaum. Like, that'll be so funny. Like, I'll videotape it and we will like tell everybody how hilarious this is. Like it you know, because like when Diesel Freaks called in, you can't quit watching. That's for sure. Oh my god, it's too funny. Well, an interesting development we found out about Ty Simpson. He thought about transferring from Alabama, but he didn't. As quote, it was hard. You know, he had an interview this week and he went over a little bit about it. And he said there were some days where I was like, what am I doing here? But I reflect back to my signing day choosing Alabama, understanding there's no place I'd rather be. They call it Title Town for a reason. The Alabama brand is like no other. And talking to my family and praying about it is just something that really stuck with me. My teammates are going to be at my wedding one day, so I couldn't see them on another sideline with me wearing another jersey. Simpson continues to be the front runner in the Tide's current quarterback competition. In a recent interview with Ryan Fowler on Tide 100.9, Alabama's offense coordinator Ryan Grubb detailed why Simpson remains the favorite to win the quarterback battle by referring back to how the quarterback performed in spring. Ty took care of the football better. He operated better. I thought he improved for an older QB. As an older guy, especially towards the latter part of the spring, he really started to show more of those characteristics. What do you think, Jeffrey?
I mean, I think in this day and age with the portal, you know, being as easily accessible as it is, NIL, I mean, you can constantly change to another school and get another deal, kind of like we saw Nico do going from Tennessee to UCLA. That's always an option, you know. I feel like Ty Simpson, you know, he probably was weighing his options. Like, am I going to be the starter? Is this, you know, the right place for me to play? You know, and that's probably why it was in his mind to go somewhere else. But as you read in the article, he is the front runner for the job. He realizes, like, he's got a legitimate chance to be the starting quarterback at Alabama. If he didn't, if he was destined to be a backup, then he probably would have transferred. But I think it's because he realized that he has a legitimate chance. I feel like Keelan Russell, his upside's way higher than Ty Simpson, but I think, as you heard Grubb say, Ty Simpson took care of the ball better in the spring, and they want a guy who's not going to be very turnover prone. They probably don't want to throw Russell into the fire immediately, so it does look like Ty Simpson's going to get the job, and since he is, why would he transfer? I mean, where else would you want to play than Alabama, right, if you're going to be the starting quarterback? I know you've got that pressure behind with Keelan Russell, but the thing is, pressure and competition is supposed to make you better. It's supposed to make you want to work harder to keep that job. So I think all in all for Ty Simpson, I feel like if he knew he was going to lose the job or he wasn't going to be the starter, he probably would have left. But since he realized he had a shot to win the job, and he's more likely going to win the job and be our starting quarterback in the fall, that's why he ultimately decided to stay. I do think it sucks, though, that, you know, at least he admitted that. It was good of him to be honest, but it does suck that we're in this day and age where you can so easily lose a guy like Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson would be a type of player in the past who probably would have stuck out with the program no matter what, but now in this portal age, you're not keeping guys anymore. So it does suck on that end, but at least, you know, we have Ty Simpson and Keelan Russell, and hopefully both of them will be happy for the foreseeable future. And Ty Simpson does well, moves on to the pros, and then Keelan Russell can come in. That would be a best-case scenario, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens if Keelan Russell ends up taking the job eventually, because if so, then Ty Simpson probably will leave if he already was considering it.
Oh, agreed. I mean, it's like I'd hate to see Ty Simpson go. I mean, I'm worried about Austin Matt leaving possibly, but I mean, it's like I don't think it's not gonna happen. But if Austin Matt was to leave, it'd be someplace where he'd be a starter. But Ty Simpson, We're pulling for you all the way. And a $2 super chat from Dan the Diesel Freak. We appreciate the contribution, good buddy. And he says, I saw you watching my stream with Burks. I did not see it this week. I'm sorry, man. That's like, okay.
I was like, I know I did not see it. I was wondering, like, maybe Jackson saw it, but it doesn't look like he did. So we definitely appreciate the super chat.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. But yeah, like, Simpson, like, I think we'll know more. We've said before, we'll say it again. We're gonna know more about who's gonna be the starter when it gets to a point where we get closer to week 1.
Mm-hmm.
We'll know who's starter by then. And yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. And how about Chris Camp? Oh, thank you for tuning in, Chris Camp. He says, thank TYS the guys. TY. I need to get better at my lingo without.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head what TYS is. So let's look that up. TYS meaning.
Thank you so much. Or trust your supplier. Thank you. Told you so.
Is he talking? Wait, or is that Ty Simpson?
I think he's talking about Keelan Russell.
Okay.
Oh, yep. That's
yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I got it.
Oh,
Dan paying the insult, says Matthew Miller. I mean, it's okay. I mean, we'll read Dan's insults when he sends them in a super chat. We appreciate the contributions. Jackson will read anything as long as it's not going to get us kicked off YouTube in a super chat. He'll read anything.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like I'll tell you what for the team.
Give us your worst.
There you go. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. It's like the little baseball dunking at the water, so to speak. Like
that's what I thought. Chris Canson, Jeffrey, Ty Simpson's the guy. That's what TYS was. Ty Simpson.
Oh, okay.
That's what he meant. I figured it out.
We're like young dudes. They're like old. We're like old man and young man's body.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to 70s rock, so it's like I'm not really super into the internet lingo. I mean, I know what LOL, BFF, OMG, all that standard stuff. When you start getting all this, weird off the wall abbreviations, then I don't know what it is.
I mean, I know what Bay is. It means like before anyone else. It's like, oh my god.
When I think of Bay, I think of water. or that television show Baywatch from the 90s with Hasselhoff.
Oh man. Well, we better get back to these topics before we really get off the rails. Because I mean, it's like Simpson is going to have a great receiving core to work with. He's got somebody to throw to besides Ryan Williams, because he's going to have Horton. He's going to have
Bernard.
Dalton.
Yeah.
He's got to have all of those guys.
Horton's key. I think if he has a really good year, I think that's going to ultimately improve our offense for sure.
Go ahead.
You need more options to throw to just than Ryan Williams. You need more weapons. I think I know where you're going with that, Jackson.
Yeah, because I was going to say Horton heard the Tide calling for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Horton hears the Tide.
He didn't hear LS who?
No. He's not hearing
Horton hears the LS who?
No. He's not hearing Brian Kelly. He's not going to. But we do promise when we get the LSU guest for when we do the season preview for LSU, we'll be a lot nicer to them. We promise. See the little halos on our heads?
Yeah, it's like it'd be a little angel for one show, and the rest of it is back to LS who?
Yep. So we are getting ready to rock and roll because it is 61 days until kickoff for the Crimson Tide. And of course, it's 61 days until kickoff for Texas, Ohio State. So that's going to be a good one. But Oh man. So we saw some news in the NFL side of things. Y'all heard of Minka Fitzpatrick?
Yes. Great
Well,
player for us.
he's back as a Dolphin. But this time, Steelers are trading Fitzpatrick for Jalen Ramsey. Oh, yay. Steelers are going to get a Super Bowl. Nope. Yeah. How are you feeling about this trade, Jeffrey?
I think it's solid for the Dolphins. I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick's a really good player. I mean, Jalen Ramsey is too. But Minka Fitzpatrick's a really solid player. Just interesting the Steelers can get rid of him. I know he's done well.
Oh, yeah. And I'm looking at this article from NFL.com from Eric Edholm, the lead draft writer. He says Aaron Rodgers is a winner. I mean, well, that's obvious. I mean, he's winning from that trade. Arthur Smith.
Aaron Rodgers was a winner.
Oh, yeah.
He was a great player. He's not that great anymore, but he was a great player.
I mean, I always like that that stint where he's the Jeopardy host for 2 weeks in 2021. I thought that was cool. I mean, like especially the first day where like I forget what the final Jeopardy category was, but like one of the guys who was going to lose anyway decided, well, I might as well go out with a bang. You know, who wanted to kick that field goal? That was so hilarious. I mean, you get a chance to be on Jeopardy with a former NFL player, you better do it right. And that guy did it right. But Jalen Ramsey's a winner, but I mean, Minka Fitzpatrick winner, Jonnu Smith winner. Tua's the loser in this trade. Mike McDaniel is the loser in this trade, it says. Dolphins at Steelers defense are the losers, but man, all I ask is to make sure Tua's healthy. That's all I ask.
Yes. I mean, if he stays healthy, the Dolphins are way better than when he's not.
Oh, yeah. But Fitzpatrick, I've got a feeling the Steelers, they're just going to continue to have a winning season anyway. Because like the last time the Steelers had a losing record, I don't even think you were born by that time, Jeffrey.
What year was it?
Well, it was before 2004, that's for sure.
Well, then you're right.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and double check because it's the last. Yeah, they haven't had a losing record since before Facebook. That I do know.
The issue with the Steelers, though, is that even though they haven't had a losing season, they have not been as good in years now. Like they keep finishing like 500 or slightly better.
Oh yeah, they're
not doing all that well.
There it is. The last time they had a losing record was 6-10 in 2003.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that sums up like when Roethlisberger got there. You know, like at the beginning.
Yep. But Tomlin, I mean, like Tomlin's going to be having them rock and roll to a just enough to have a winning type season.
That's what they do. They're going like 9-8 every year.
They lose the games they shouldn't lose. They win the games they shouldn't win. That's Tomlin in a nutshell. And honestly, we're gonna see what happens. We're gonna see whether that they get tired of it. I mean, they've not fired a coach since our grandparents were teenagers.
Yeah. Why start now?
Exactly. So it's like
it's better to go 9-8 than go 3-14.
Oh yeah. It would take something like that where they have a humongous losing record. So that is going to be interesting to see. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I want to see the Steelers do a little better than they have, but I mean, they'll do better than the Browns. The Bengals, as long as Zach Smith is the head coach, they're just going to underachieve. Terrible.
Joe Burrow was so good last year.
Oh, yeah.
And they still sucked.
They need a new coach. That's the thing. I mean, Smith got to go. And the Ravens, they'll just dominate the AFC North, but then they'll just fall apart in the playoffs. I mean, they're closer to having a drink at the Long Branch with Miss Kitty than they are getting to a Super Bowl. And
Which
that
means
is,
they have like no chance.
oh yeah. And I say about the Buffalo Bills as well. So it's like not happening for them. So that is an ugly sight to see.
Throw the Panthers in there.
Oh God. It's like it's like I can't stand Tepper. He
Tepper
sucks.
is garbage, man. He is so garbage.
He is like the definition of the devil. He is the devil.
Like I can't stand the guy, man. He's like a terrible owner. Like I don't care how rich you are, man. You don't know anything about football.
No, he's just terrible. Like that. There should be like a qualification. Like you better be like a huge fan of pro football or college football.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter that you're rich. Like you have to be rich and know football. You know.
Oh yeah. Like you gotta know what's up. Gotta know what's up. So we'll wait and see what happens with the AFC North. I mean the AFC East. Like we hadn't even talked about the AFC East, have we, Jeffrey? I didn't think so. I mean, Bills will win it like always. Jets, Woody Johnson's their owner, so they're never gonna get
Jets are not gonna do anything.
Yeah. And the Patriots, we'll wait and see. So
it's gonna be a while before they're good again, I think.
So there's that. And there's gonna be, so we got Jets, Patriots, Bills. Oh God, who we leave out? Dolphins, of course. They're so forgotten. I hate that. It's like, oh yeah, like the only time they're ever talked about is when the last team of the NFL is unbeaten every year.
Yeah.
So it's just nuts. I mean, we'll wait and see what happens for the AFC East. I don't really have high hopes for anybody else besides the Bills.
Yeah, I mean, the Bills are going to keep winning games as long as Josh Allen is still really good. They're going to win games, but they're not going to win the Super Bowl.
No.
They're going to have good seasons. They're going to go like 11-6, 12-5, 13-4, whatever. And they'll make the playoffs, win a game, then lose. That's what they do.
Yeah, the Jets got one with Joe Namath. Yeah, it was so bad that nobody on Jeopardy could figure it out. Like, nobody on Jeopardy could figure it out. Like, I forget what it was, but I found it from Urinating Tree on YouTube, and it was on, like, ads as well. I found it. It was one of those, but I know that it was before the moon landing with with Armstrong. Like, the final Jeopardy category was which team won a Super Bowl before Armstrong landed on the moon. And it was like, yeah, that nobody could figure it out. Who are the Giants? No, the Giants didn't win a Super Bowl then. Although their last NFL title before 69 at that time was 1956. They came up short in 58. They lost in 59. They were always losing to the Packers and the Bears in the 60s. It's like, how did anybody on Jeopardy not know that? I mean, you're supposed to be on Jeopardy and know this stuff, man. But that's just so bad.
I think a lot of people that go on Jeopardy don't really actually know much. They just do it to do it, man.
I mean, you gotta study to be on there, man. You gotta study. And no worries. Our guest from Florida State Live is coming on in just a bit. We're just keeping you entertained until then.
Yeah, Jax is like searching for topics. We're talking about the Jets.
They're mid. They're mid.
They're worse than mid, man.
No. It's like, oh no. It's like have like Chris Berman watch that game. Like somebody ought to like watch him do a live stream of Jets Panthers.
Na 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 na.
Oh
man, the fastest 3 minutes, man.
Oh man, there you go. It's like good grief. But while we wait, we're going to be telling you about the Voice of College Football X account, the Instagram, and the TikTok. You didn't think we'd be forgetting about the Voice of College Football TikTok, did you? We wouldn't forget anything like that. And of course, you got top-notch debate, discussion, analysis from the Voice of College Football X account. There it is. You got Crimson Tide Live. Oh, this is a good show. Oklahoma Live with the Senator Smith's Live and Leanne Herring tuning in with one another, talking about Oklahoma Ole Miss. That's a good one. I'll have to tune into that one. And there's the weekly schedule. You got all of it. There it is. Billy Napier talking. You got Penn State's all-time offense. What do you think? You tell us. Pitt's all-time offense. And you got the Voice of College Football TikTok account. Single game records. Well, of course, Patrick Mahomes had the most total yards in one game. How's that not surprising? Connor, how's anybody not surprised by that? I mean, Connor Holiday playing for Mike Leach. I mean, that's always a win. I mean, like it was basically death taxes, and anybody who played for Mike Leach, they'd be throwing like 800 yards per game. Rashawn Woods, most receiving touchdowns. Oh man, we got it all. You got that right, Chris. I don't give a rat's behind about nothing but the Tide.
It's a good mindset.
There you go. So while we wait for our guest, let's talk a little bit about the early season preview of Alabama, Florida State for a moment. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be a good one right there. And
I hope it's not a good one. I hope it's a blowout.
Oh, yeah. But, yeah, I think it's going to be a fun one to watch. I mean, at least on our end. But Florida State is looking to go up. I mean,
they have nowhere to go but up.
I agree. I mean, you kind of need to, you know, it's like, that's why you got Thomas Castellanos for Boston College. And as we always say, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, in this case, if you can't beat them, get them to come to your school. I mean, it's a pretty good mindset. It is a pretty good mindset. And I mean, you're going to have Malzahn as your offensive coordinator. I mean, funny thing was, it's like, okay, this isn't working out for me at Central Florida. And I'm going to be the OC. Like, I think he saw the writing on the wall, read the room that he was going to be getting that vote of confidence. Like, nope, I've seen this movie before. I'm out. I'd say that's a smart choice right there. I mean, you're going to be the offense coordinator in Tallahassee. So that'll be a good one right there. And, yeah, it'll be interesting. And, you know, we're going to have our quarterback situation figured out by the time we play Florida State.
Most likely Ty Simpson, but.
Oh, yeah. So here we go. And ladies and gentlemen, he is the co-host of Florida State Live Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, a writer for Florida State Wire and writer for Blogging with the Boys at SB Nation. And he's a huge Atlanta Braves fan, the one and only himself, Matthew Lennox. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
How y'all doing tonight? I'm great.
Oh, man, awesome. We're doing fantastic. We're talking a little bit about Alabama, Florida State. That's There we go. So
yeah, before we get started, let me just say, Jackson, I want to give a special shout out to you, because without you, I wouldn't be with the Voice of College Football. So it wasn't for you reaching out and giving me this opportunity, I wouldn't be here. So I wanted to make sure you got your kudos and your thank you, sir. So I really appreciate you.
Well, I mean, you know your stuff about Florida State athletics, and, you know, you're like juggling Florida State, North Carolina, you have the Cowboys and the Atlanta Braves. I'm like amazed. Like, you're You're like a freaking magician. I mean, the beard shows it. It's like you're like a freaking wizard. Like Florida State Wire blogging with the boys. Like when I got the word we need a Florida State person from TJ and Chris, I was like, this is one of the guys I'm going to reach out to. He looks like a host, and he looks like he knows what he's talking about. And I've got a good feeling about, especially reading those articles all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just, quick story how I became a Florida State fan. The first time I watched them play, they actually lost. It was the game of the century in '93 against Notre Dame.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the first time I ever watched Florida State play, and I was just, captivated by, Charlie Ward and the Ward Dunn back flap and the war chant and the gold helmets, and I was just amazed by it. And then thankfully I got to watch one of the greatest games in the history of college football. So that was like my introduction to the sport. And even though they lost, I was all the way in at 9 years old, and 32 years later, I'm still here. And now to be writing about them and now co-hosting the show about them is a dream come true. So
well, we are glad that you're a part of the Voice of College Football Network, and I can tell you,
appreciate it.
it's like I'm amazed. Like, yeah, it's like I'm always going to be amazed by like writing articles, like hosting shows. Like it's like, man, you're like juggling it all. Like it's amazing.
Yeah.
Note to self: we'll have to make sure we discuss Atlanta Braves in the future for sure.
Okay. Oh yeah. Like I said, I've been a Braves fan since actually when they started their run, because my mom moved there in December '90. So that was right before their first World Series appearance, in the '90s. So yeah, I've been a big Braves fan. I was, the 11-year-old, jumping for joy when we got the last out in '95 when we won, and then I literally told my boss at my old job when we won in '21. I said, "Hey, we're gonna clinch tonight, so I'm gonna be a couple hours late. So just hold my stuff for me." He said, "Yeah, I'll make sure I do it. I know this is a big night for you. Don't worry about it. You're good. Come in when you can." So yeah, I'm big Atlanta Braves too. So I'll definitely look forward to that in the future.
Oh man. So when looking at Florida State, Alabama, like going into week 1, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on ABC, what is your early thoughts on this matchup?
Honestly, of course, I mean, anytime you play Alabama, I mean that's just you're playing one of the teams that set the standard, for the entire sport. With the Georgias and Ohio States of the world and stuff like that. So it's a very big matchup, and to have it at home to open it, this is a great first test for a team that's trying to get back to what they were, the previous 2 years before last year. Winning 23 games and being one of the better teams in the nation. But when you come from 2-12, I mean, excuse me, 2-10. You can only go up from there. I think playing a team like Alabama that has, put so many guys in the NFL on both sides of the ball. They're always coached well. They're always prepared. They have great athletes. So if you're going to get tested, Alabama's one of the best teams to go against. So I feel like, it's going to be a struggle for them, of course, because they're not quite as talented as Alabama. We had a good close to our 2025 class. We ended up losing a lot of guys during the season. A lot of guys flipped, when we started losing, but we had a really, really good close. As you guys know, we've had a really good 2 weeks for the 26th class. So, but yeah, this is going to be a big test. I think this game is going to go one or two ways. I think either Alabama is going to win comfortably, or I think it'll be one of those situations where it's the first games on the road, anything can happen. And I think it's going to be down to the last possession, and somebody's going to either walk off with a field goal or get a last-second defensive stand. So either Alabama or Florida State will win close, or Alabama will win big. If Florida State pulls off an upset, I don't think it'll be comfortably. I think they'll have to scratch and claw to beat Alabama.
For sure. I mean, I'm curious to see what'll happen because, like, it's only going to be the 5th matchup in the series history. Because, like, as far as I recall, like, the first 2 were 65, and I'm looking at the 67 season. That was a disappointing season for Crimson Tide Nation. Like, it was a tie against Florida State to start things off. And
Right.
oh man, but '07, I mean, I couldn't believe it, but that was like the first win for Florida State against Alabama, I believe.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that. Yeah.
So there we go. Well, it's just like rocking and rolling.
I do agree with you, Matthew, that about the assessment of the game. That I agree. It's either going to be a blowout for us or a close win either way. Because
Right.
I mean, if it's like fourth quarter and it's a one-score game, then I mean, legitimately, because it's week one, you don't know what's going to happen because. Like Florida State, like they're confident now, like they believe that they can come off with one of the biggest, at that time of the season will be the biggest upset already of the year. And then Alabama's nervous, like, oh man, we cannot blow this game. It's not like week 10, week 11, where both teams are kind of where they're at. It's like Florida State could like knock off Alabama in week one and still go like 7-5, still not even
Right,
have a
exactly.
year. It could just be like it was week one, and that's what helped them pull it off. And then Bama, like that game either ruins their season, they just like fall apart, or they use the Florida State loss to springboard their season. So that's why week one, you never really can say for sure. Like I would never bet week one games. Like I'm not a betting guy, but if you bet college football, do not bet week one. You do not know what's going to happen. These teams are not ready for their prime time play. Like they're giving it an A+ effort out there. It's going to be sloppy all over the place. I do think if Alabama starts out and goes up like 17-0, then the game's already it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, and the one thing about this game that I'm concerned about, the Florida State fan, is our defensive line going against Alabama's offensive line. Like that's the part where I think of course, Bama's going to have some drives where they establish some shells and they're going to play big ball and they're going to show you why they're Alabama, because they always do, no matter who they play against, win or lose. So there's going to be some struggles, of course, but running this 3-3-5, I'm interested to see who's going to play where. We're going to have to be really strong in the middle against Bama, because if we can't get any pressure up the middle, I just feel like we can't let the quarterback sit back there and just have time, because I think we'll get picked apart. This is a new defense, even though the secondary, I think right now is probably the strongest part of our defense. It is week one, it is a new scheme, so Bama's loaded. So I just feel like if they don't establish some kind of presence in the trenches, even if it's kind of nip and tuck back and forth, you can't get blown off completely off the ball in the trenches, especially on the defensive line, because like if Bama establishes themselves on offense, then the defense is going to pin their ears back, and it's going to be a long day for us. So we have to start fast. I'm hoping that if we win the kickoff, I want us to get the ball first. Like get the ball, try to go down and get an early score, get some momentum, and then put them on offense. Even if it's just 3-0, like get the crowd involved, because no matter what our record is, it's still hard to win at Doak. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it wrong. We're not what we used to be quite yet, but it's still tough to win there. So especially if we get rolling and that crowd gets going, and that chomp is going, the band's playing, like it can, pressure can bust some pipes. So, but like I said, it'll be more than likely either Bama will show why they're Bama and show why they're probably going to be, competing for the playoff and the championship, or I think it's going to be, week one. It's just everything's news, first game, and somehow it's the fourth quarter and it's 21-17 Bama. But it's 3rd and 10 and it's starting the fourth quarter, and the crowd's rocking, and things can go either way then. So I'm hoping it's like that, because I just want us to have a chance in the fourth quarter. Because I feel like if we keep it close, even if we lose and we come out feeling good about ourselves, I think we can be 3-1 by the time we play Miami, and that'll put us in a position to like really have a good year. So. And plus I think that'll help with recruiting also. If they see that, hey, like these guys are hanging with Bama after 2 and 10 years, the first game of the season, like, some recruits that might be on the fringe that are going to, commit in December and later on in the year, they might start, you know what, like I think they got something. So these games are bigger than people think. It's not just the wins and losses for the year. This goes with recruiting and all that stuff. So I just want us to have a really good showing no matter what, because I think that will make everybody feel good about the year, and it'll make the players feel good. This new staff will feel good. So it's it's a big one for us.
I have another question for you, Matthew, if you don't mind. How important is this game for Mike Norvell? Because I know obviously he's on the hot seat, right? Like he's everybody's saying like, oh, if he doesn't have a good year, he's fired, all that kind of stuff. Obviously,
Right.
like if they lose this game and then somehow win out the rest of the way, go 11-1, he's fine. So you can't say like this game is like the be all and end all for his tenure.
Right.
But like
Right.
how perception wise in the fan base, how important is this game for Mike Norvell to at least keep it close or maybe somehow pull off a big upset, like a blowout early? What would that do for the fan base?
Well, I can tell you right now, knowing the Florida State fan base, if we get blown out week one, they're going to be calling for his head. Week one. They're going to want him gone. People are going to overreact, and it's going to be bad. So as far as how important it is, I think it's important from the standpoint, like I said, just have your team come out and compete. Like that's what's going to make the fan base feel good. Even if you lose, let's say it's 31-28, a close 21-17 game, like I said, or if it's close in any way and it's competitive, the fan base will be fine. I think even the ones that kind of want him gone or whatever, they'll start to go, you know what, maybe I got to give this guy a chance. Because I feel like last year was an anomaly. I don't think that's going to be the norm here at Florida State. We were, just sometimes years like that happen. But I think that game, to me, like I said, it's just big for them to compete well. Because if they compete, that's going to go throughout the entire program, not just the players, but the coaches. They're going to start feeling good. So I just think it's important from the standpoint, not even necessary to win, because if we lose, like I said, and it's close and it's competitive, I think everybody will feel good, especially the fan base. Hopefully. Well, if they come out and they lay an egg, yeah, trust me, Twitter would be a very, very dark place for Florida State fans for sure.
Oh man, like people will be throwing the baby out with the bathwater all over.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, it's week 1, not week 11. Good grief!
Exactly.
It's not like Florida State's going 4-8 or 2-10. Gee, I mean, you've lost to Bama. I mean, they're not
that 2-10 season last year still shocks me. Like I was not expecting that. Like after the undefeated season and the bowl game or whatever, that doesn't even count to me. Like that it
right.
doesn't. I mean that team was fantastic with Travis. They were so good. I know the ACC's not strong, but they were a darn good team. And it sucks they missed the playoffs like that. It was tough, right? And then you have last year, like I knew they were going to be worse. I think I predicted 8-4. That was my prediction. I said they're going to take a step back with DJU. They're not going to be as good. But I'm like 8-4. Like it's the ACC. It's not strong. They'll be fine. They might finish like 25th. Yeah. And then
I had him at 9 wins. Yeah, I had him like 9-3. You take a step back.
I would have never expected.
Heads up, I did have a swearing venting session at Florida State celebrating the win over Cal on After Dark, which I did hurl a couple F-bombs on After Dark, which I believe was let's see, September 22nd of 2024 on a Sunday night.
It's crazy.
So my apologies on Florida State for that. Nothing personal. I go like that on any team in general, so no worries there. I'll even go that hard on my own team.
Yeah, and trust me, I'll admit when I was watching the selection show for the playoff that year, I remember telling people, I said, look, when these rankings come out, I said, man, first of all, we really needed Georgia to beat y'all. That was going to benefit us. Georgia would have been undefeated. I think it would have been Georgia, Michigan, Washington, and us. That's what I think the 4 would have been. But so when you guys won, I mean, I got really nervous. I said, man, they got one loss to the SEC champion. They just beat Georgia. I said, that's going to carry a lot of weight.
And everyone thought Georgia was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, I had Georgia winning close, but I said, but Bama is the team that gives them fits. Like they know how to beat Georgia. Like they're just the one team that can. So, when I was watching that show, the selection show, man, I said, if Florida State's not number 3, they're not getting it. Like once it was Michigan, Washington, and Texas was number 3, I said they're gonna put Bama. And when I saw it, I mean, my heart just dropped because I just wanted them to have the chance to play. I mean, I know without Travis, more than likely Michigan probably. I mean, I don't even think they would have beat us big because remember, our defense was lights out that year. Our defense was a championship level defense, and we had just shut down a top 20 offense to under 200 yards and 6 points. So we could play defense. We just probably weren't going to be able to score that much. And then the game probably in the second half probably would have got away. I think it probably would have been a situation where Michigan would have just by the third quarter, it's like, okay, well, they fought all they could. They just can't do anything without a quarterback. But to me, I just felt like Jordan Travis was our best player. And we won every game with our best player. And then we won every game without him.
Yeah.
So to me, that makes you not only one of 4 deserving teams, it unequivocally makes you one of 4 best. Because they prove it doesn't matter if it's their first. And you remember, in our last game in the AC Championship, that was our third string quarterback.
Yeah, that really hurt Florida State.
That really hurt.
I feel like, and I know I might be wrong, but I feel like if the second string, Rodemaker, if he hadn't got hurt, I think
they might have had a chance. It might have still gotten kept out. It would have made it look better with a backup. But a third stringer, it was.
But
really,
Brock Glenn, I mean, he was not doing anything. I mean, he was not. And I remember watching that Louisville game. I remember it was like beginning of the game. They were like, "Oh, Florida State, win and you're in, win and you're in." I remember the broadcast. They were saying this. I think it was Jesse Palmer was on there. He was like, "Oh, Florida State, if they win, they're good." Then Brock Glenn's in their second half, and like the offense is just dead. And I remember them saying, "I don't know, Florida State might need to blow out Louisville to get in." And I'm like, "They're not getting in." I knew immediately right then and there. I'm like, "They're not getting in," because if they're saying it, they're telling them. They're telling them Florida State's cooked because they're not doing it.
And like while I was watching the broadcast, I'm celebrating, but that other ear is like, "Oh my God, I hate what you're saying." Because I'm keeping it in the back of my head because I know how this works. You know what I'm saying? So immediately after I celebrated the win, when the game went off, that's when I was kind of like the little SpongeBob gift where he's sitting there and he's looking with the thing like I started. I'm like, "Oh boy, like we didn't do enough on offense." So that was the only thing. Defensively, we proved that championship defense for sure. But
and I made a video on my channel too. I did a video like 3 a.m. that night, like before the selection show. I was furious. I was scrolling Twitter. People were like, Florida State, they're gonna get left out. They're not gonna get in. And I made a video saying Florida State should be in. They should be in. I don't care that their quarterbacks are. I don't care that their backups are. What they did all season long, they deserve to get in. And people were telling me no because they're gonna get blown out. And it's like, well, why did Cincinnati make the playoffs then? That was, you got to realize this is a 4-team playoff. We're looking at it from this perspective back then. I'm like, why did Cincinnati get in? They got blown out. Right. Everybody knew they were going to get blown out. So it's like Florida State should have got in, but they didn't let them in. And I was upset. I defended Florida State hard that year.
Appreciate you on that.
And it was on December 3rd, 2023 from Only Talk Sports, CFP snubs Florida State.
I was furious. Like I had the thumbnail. I was raging at like 3 a.m. Released that thing, and people are like, "Jeffrey, you're delusional." I'm like, "No, I'm not. They should have got in. Florida State should have got in."
And you know what? To me, like even though Texas had the win, head to head.
I actually thought Texas was going to get in over Bama. Honestly.
And see me, I actually had a scenario where it was Bama and Florida State getting in, Texas getting left out. Just because
why they put Texas ahead of Bama just because of the head-to-head. Because what I argued too, and I said in that video as well, back on that day, I said the reason my argument was because Alabama beat Georgia, which was the better win. All right, I know people are like, well, Texas beat Bama head-to-head. It was in week 2 of the season. Jalen Milroe was not that good yet. Right? And it's like Alabama improved as the year went along, knocked off Georgia in the SEC title game. Texas lost to Oklahoma, who wasn't even in the picture. Texas had the worst loss out of any team that made the playoffs.
Any team,
So I said this about 100 times. I said it on the Mark. I called into Mark's live stream that night. I made that video. People were going crazy at me. I called in the next day. People were like, Jeffrey, lay it to rest. Texas should get in over Bama. Bama should have been 4th. Florida State should have been out. And I'm like, no, you can't just base it off head-to-head. Bama had the better win. Texas had the worst loss. Florida State was undefeated. That's how it should have went. It should have been Florida State, should have been Bama. but people said I was crazy. So
yeah. And then because I think it was Dan Orlowski was talking about how because I think he was talking to I think it was Booger McFarland. You know, Booger really stuck up for Florida State, and he was talking about how like their strength of schedule, was like 55th. But I think somebody said, but Michigan was like 51st. So it's like you can't use that argument. Yeah, they have the rules in there about if you lose a key player, it could hurt you. But I'm like, we look at how not only did we lost our best player, and we still didn't lose. And you look at the games we played. We played in the swamp. Now, granted, Florida wasn't Florida that we know, but it's still hard. Just like it's hard to win in dope, it's hard to win in the swamp, especially at night when we're there, when Florida State's there. Like that's not a guarantee. Like Florida always plays us tough for the most part. So to win that and then to go win a conference title and to shut down, like I said, an offense that was that good and make them look very pedestrian. I mean, really by the first quarter, I said we're going to win even though we're not going to score that much because they're not going to be able to move the ball. Like I saw that in the first quarter. I said, oh no, they're not going to be able to score at all. Like I said, if we scored 13, if we scored 10 or 13, we're good. I wanted us to score more because, like you said, we needed to score more points to blow them out. But I knew that we didn't need that much to beat Louisville because I saw like Brandon Fisk and Jared First were just wrecking that game all day. So I'm like, yeah, they're not gonna be able to score. But yeah, that was just man, it made me so mad because I first of all when Jordan Travis got hurt, I was in my apartment. That's one of the worst feelings I've ever had as a sports fan. Period. Like when I saw it. Like I'm watching the play, and then I looked. And I said, is he still down?" And then I saw his leg, and my head just dropped. I said, "Oh my God, he's done." I said, "There's no way he's gonna play, anymore this year. Even if there was some chance he was gonna come back at some point, it won't be this season." So of course, you start thinking about the playoff because you know where you're at, and you're undefeated. You got a chance to make it. It's like, man, I actually thought we were gonna struggle to win the next week. I was like, man, we're going to Florida with a backup. Like, we might end up losing, and there might be nothing to talk about. But then when we won, I was like, I felt like we were going to win the championship. But I'm like, man, I know, like I said, how it works in the back of my head. I'm like, no, Jordan Travis, they're really going to use that big time. But I just feel like for a team to lose their best player and to not lose the way they did. I mean, now if he had got hurt in the ACC championship game, then I would probably understand it more. Because it's like, oh man, like we haven't seen them with any of the backup or a third stringer. Like we definitely can't put them in now. But you watch them play 2 games, and then after we played Florida, we were still in the top 4.
Mm-hmm.
So you going in the championship week, you still thought we were good enough to be one of those teams after we played with a backup, and then we won with a even worse quarterback. So to me, I thought that should have been enough for, hey man. I know they don't have Jordan Travis, but they're one of the 4 most deserving and one of the 4 best. They have to be in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, definitely. Bama beating Georgia that really hurt, and Brock Glenn, like the fact again he didn't move the ball at all. Like Rodemaker was moving the ball. Like that's the only reason they beat Florida because he was actually moving the ball like somewhat, and their defense was doing great. But against Louisville, could not move the ball. It sucks because, like I said, I definitely wanted to see Florida State make the playoffs that year, but it is what it is. Yeah. I will say Travis's injury with his leg, it reminded me of Mackenzie Milton's injury, the UCF quarterback a few years ago.
UCF, yeah.
Florida State for brief.
Yep.
When he hurt his leg, it was all bent and all that. And and when Travis did it, it was like it reminded me of the same thing. And it's just it's such a sinking feeling because I liked both QBs. And just seeing them get hurt like that, I mean, you never want to see that. It is terrible.
Yeah. And like me, I remember when Marcus Lattimore hurt his knee at South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was so gruesome. Like,
everybody thinks of him as that guy that was getting hurt a lot constantly, but I always think of him as the phenom that dominated the running core in 2010 at South Carolina and was part of that leadership that got South Carolina to their first division title in school history.
Yeah. It's just, man, and it's crazy because, I've been dreaming of somehow a Florida State Bama national championship since 2013 because, I hated that Auburn actually, beat y'all in 2013. Because I felt like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Auburn was definitely formidable, and they earned it. You can't take that away from them. But like to me, that year was set up for Bama and Florida State to meet the championship. Like that was.
We were so heartbroken with the kick. I
Oh
was a kid, man. I was like, no.
I can't even imagine how that felt.
Games I ever saw in my life.
I can't even imagine how that felt, man.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
I mean, it's been 12 years since that happened, and I still can't even.
You still think about it, yeah. And see me, I've been a Florida State fan since '93, so I've actually watched them lose 3 national championship games. And when I was 12, I watched them lose the national championship to Florida. That was one of the worst nights of my life. They won their first national championship against us.
Oof.
Like that was gut wrenching. And then of course, in '98. I mean, no disrespect to Tennessee, but oh man, I felt like we should have won that one. I felt like that was one that we let get away to. And then Oklahoma. I mean, the way our offense disappeared. I mean, Oklahoma only scored 13 points, 13-2. I mean, that was a miserable night right there. Like we just couldn't do nothing offensively. So, yeah, man. Yeah, I've been dreaming of a scenario where Bama and Florida State could somehow, be really, really good at the same time and, meet for a championship. That would be a ratings blockbuster to get those two schools.
Yeah, they've definitely made it harder with a 12-team playoff. I mean, like you got to go so far just to get to a championship. Yeah. Like before, you just had to win 12 games. If you win them all, or maybe still with one loss, if other things break your way. Now you've got to win 15 games. To get to a championship. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully one day they can meet in one of the semifinals or quarterfinals.
Still be cool. Absolutely.
Oh yeah. A Bama Florida State game in the playoff. Oh yeah, that's blockbuster right there. So I mean, I actually thought that since Lee Corso was doing this last his last headgear thing, I actually thought that maybe Bama and Florida State get the night game.
Oh
since he went to Florida State and he was
roommates with Burt Reynolds before Burt.
Roommate with Burt Reynolds.
Got that his big break on Gunsmoke as Quinn Asper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually wanted the last headgear game to be in Tallahassee for I wanted Florida State and Bama to be the the site where he did that. I was actually surprised that they didn't do that, but I kind of understood the other games. That one, I think it was Texas Ohio State.
Yeah, I saw the statement where Corso's family is pretty sad about it, but I was just kind of like, I felt like they were either going to go to Alabama, Florida State, or Ohio State, Texas. I mean, they started it with Brutus the Buckeye. I feel like they're going to finish it with Brutus.
I was hoping they'd do an IU game for him. Like, I know Indiana's not playing anybody week 1, but since he was the Indiana coach for a long time, go to an Indiana game. But Indiana doesn't have a mascot that has, anything that he could put on. So
I honestly thought when game day went to Indiana, Washington, it was like a hint that Corso was retiring.
Yeah, I was glad that they did that, though, for him. I mean, the thing is, Indiana had the Bison back in the 60s, which they're bringing back. I don't know if you saw that, Jackson. They are bringing it back. They're bringing the Bison back. But, yeah, he never got to put a mascot head on for Indiana. But I don't blame him why they're doing Ohio State, Texas. I mean, it's the biggest game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And circling back to the first one he did. So,
it makes sense. And then you got the defending national champion, and you got Texas who, they've put themselves as one of the big powerhouses in college football now. So it makes sense to just, as the Florida State fan, I was holding out a little bit of hope because, it's Florida State and it's Alabama. That those are two pretty big logos too. So maybe they'll do it there. But
if this game was last year, then it maybe would have.
Yeah, maybe last year. Yeah, for sure.
Been, still hyped up. But this year,
Agreed. Well, we'll say though, Florida State Seminoles Live is starting up in 23 minutes, I believe. Wow. It's getting rocking and rolling. Matthew, what have you got going on in the world of Florida State Live, Florida State Wire, and Blogging with the Boys? What upcoming articles are we going to see?
Well, I'm probably going to do, as far as Cowboys, we're in such a, a dead period. Training camp is not till the end of July, so I'm probably going to do one one on Jake Ferguson about how George Pickens being added to the offense and will help him. Probably one on Sam Williams about his big year for him. Just trying to put some, because it's so hard now, because like whenever it's regular time, it's always something going on with the Cowboys. Like the headlines never stop. So there's never any time where you don't have anything to write. But right now, you gotta scramble for stuff. You don't want to do too much of the like the ranking articles and all that. Those are fun to do too, but I like doing my own stuff. So probably Sam Williams, Jeff Ferguson, of course, with Florida State. Some more the recruiting stuff. I'm gonna probably talk about our receivers this year. I think it's gonna be Javon Boggs and Deuce Robinson and Squirrel White. Probably gonna be the three guys that start. You got three different guys. You got a big, tall guy, you got a speedy guy, and you got more like a technician. So I think we got a dynamic group this year, and it's going to surprise a lot of people. So probably do that. Some more recruiting stuff. I know we got some guys that are going to be committing soon that we're in the running for. So so hopefully we get a couple commits this week too and stay hot. So. That's probably what I got going on right now. And then, Florida State Live, me and Sam, we're, building our little thing week by week. We, keep seeing the views go up and the traffic go up and guys asking questions. So it feels like we're doing something right,
Oh man, I love it how both of you guys have the Atlanta Braves hat on every show. Like I love it. It's like, oh man.
I'm like, because it's like, it's kind of in the heart of baseball season. So, this is normally around the time, after, once All-Star break comes, we normally get kind of hot. So I'm hoping we can, get back in this thing a little bit.
It's honestly amazing to me how much of this eastern part of the country are Braves fans. I live in North Carolina, and everyone here is a Braves fan. It's like we don't have a baseball team right in North Carolina. So North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, northern part of Florida. It's all Braves. Even a lot of Alabama, like Braves fans, they cover such a big range. I think North Carolina will get a baseball team eventually, but I don't think they want to do it to hurt the Braves fandom.
Yeah. Because I was born and raised in Camden, South Carolina, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from Charlotte. So I mean, we Channel 17 was TBS. 7:30. Atlanta Braves baseball. Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I grew up on. Of course, watching old WGN with the Cubs and the White Sox and listening to Harry Carey during the 7th inning stretch and all that. Oh yeah.
I'm so jealous. Yeah. I only get to watch them on YouTube reruns.
Well, I mean, I never got to saw them live, but I just remember watching games live and watching them do it. And it was always, even though I wasn't a Cubs fan, but whenever they would play, I would always turn to the games during the 7th inning because I wanted to, hear Harry Carey do his thing. So that's also one of my bucket list things too, is to go to Wrigley Field once, because that's like one of the ballparks in baseball. So.
Oh man, it would be cool to meet Chip Carey. That'd be pretty cool. Like, it's like I mean, I know he's the Cardinals broadcaster, but in my heart, he's always going to be the Atlanta Braves broadcaster.
Yeah, I mean, me, I was really a spoiled sports fan when you think about my fandom, because I became a Braves fan in '91. They started going on this run. My first Cowboys game, well, I started watching the Cowboys in '92 when I was 8 years old. But the first game that I watched uninterrupted, how games are on, but you're kind of like running around when you're a kid, you're playing around, running out of the house. Mm-hmm. But I was getting ready to play football that fall for the first time. And, my dad, God rest his soul, he was like, hey, well, if you're going to play football, you need to watch it and see what this is about. And I remember seeing a commercial for the Super Bowl, like Dallas versus Buffalo. So I go in the living room, I'm sitting Indian style, and I'm watching Charles Haley and Emmett and Michael Irvin and all these guys. So I watched Super Bowl 27. I became a diehard Cowboys fan. Like I told y'all, game of the century, Florida State. They ended up winning the championship that year. North Carolina, I became a fan of them in the early 90s. They won a championship in '93. So actually in '93, North Carolina, Florida State, and the Cowboys all won. So I was very spoiled. And then, once the mid 90s hit with the Cowboys, I realized that, sports is in the fairy tale, it's not the movies. Sometimes your teams are not good. Sometimes they're really, really bad, and they're really bad for a long time sometimes. So, life can make me very young in sports, and like don't think this is gonna be your year, but it's not like that. So, but yeah, man, the whole southeastern part of the country in the United States, that's Braves country. It's not just Georgia. It's the Carolinas, it's Florida, like you said, a little bit Alabama. It's probably even fans in Mississippi. So,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's like there's not going to be a Mississippi pro team, so it's either Ole Miss, Mississippi State, or the Atlanta Braves.
yep, for sure.
And of course, you can give Matthew Lennox a follow on @/Twitter on Star Conscience, and you can check out his wonderful work on Florida State Wire at the College Wires Network on USA Today, blogging with the boys on SB Nation, and you can check him out Monday nights, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Florida State Live, right there, or here on Florida State at the Voice of College Football. For those tuning in on Florida State at the Voice of College Football, Jeffrey, what magic are you cooking up this week on Only Talk Sports or on the call-in show?
Definitely going to be having a lot more videos on SEC previews for college football in 2025. Got the Alabama one out today. I've got my official record prediction for Alabama football. Hopefully Alabama fans are satisfied with my answer. I mean, it might not be good enough for some diehards out there, but I try to be realistic. Definitely, I've already done a lot of the ACC. I don't think I've released every team, but I did have a prediction for Florida State out there this year. The newsflash for Florida State fans: a lot better than 2-10. A lot better than 2-10. They should be better. Hopefully, for Mike Norvell's sake, they definitely will be. And I have a lot more videos like that coming on down the way on my YouTube channel, Only Talk Sports. Appreciate it if you check it out. Also, Thursday nights, me and Jackson will be back, Alabama, at the Voice of College Football for the call-in show. That's always a blast. We take your calls. I mean, we have some normal callers. We got some people that go over the top, but we're here for it. We love it. It's always a great time. So definitely appreciate it if you guys go check that out as well.
Oh, it's always a blast. That's for sure, man. It's always fun working with you, partner.
Absolutely, always.
And of course, you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979 on my personal YouTube channel, where I'm 322 subs away from that magic number 1,000. And you can check out my latest episode of The Jacksonian with Samuel Recker from College Football with Sam, where we talk a lot about which coach without a national title is going to be the first to get a natty. Is it Sark? Franklin? It's not going to be Brian Kelly. I don't think it's Lincoln Riley. Is it going to be Dan Lanning? You'll know when you tune in to episode 74 of The Jacksonian. And for more updates on what I've got going on Alabama with the Voice of College Football, The Jacksonian, and once a week on the Paul Feinbaum Show, where the weekends are full of surprises, check me out on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter and Instagram and threads Jackson Johnson 543908 and on Jackson Johnson 97 Blue Sky Social @Blue Sky, where my friend Mike Debate says, where the skies are blue. Some say the skies are overcast, the skies are gray, but I say to each their own. If you like it, you'll like it. And you can check out Alabama Crimson Tide Live and Alabama Primetime Live on your favorite audio platform on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Please leave a rating and review.
Galore.
There we go.
Now let me just say this to y'all Alabama fans. There's only one game, week 1, that I would ever bet on to be comfortable, and that's when Florida State plays LSU, because I know we're going to win.
LSU.
Automatic dub, baby.
I love seeing, like, that was so fun watching Florida State beat LSU.
That was a great game.
Not once, but twice. It was like,
yeah, and it was funny because somebody quoted it. Somebody said, like, one of their players was talking about how they recognized that they've lost 5 straight season openers. And one of our fans quoted and said, man, it's crazy that 40% of those came against Florida State. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. 40. That's right, baby. Yeah. Anytime, until further notice, if it's week 1 LSU, I'm betting the house.
There you go. I'm right there with you, man. I'm betting on Clemson over LSU.
Yeah, see that one. That's the one only game that I kind of want LSU to win that one because I can't stand Clemson.
That's fair.
Clemson,
Clemson. Here, we still want LSU.
Yeah, I know. But. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys, have some hate for Clemson too, because you know what happened, you know, during the But for me, man, like you remember back in like 2012, 2011, you know, we were still running the ACC, but you could tell Clemson was like that next team, but they just couldn't beat us. And then once Jameis Winston came, you know, and we won the championship, then they kind of took over. So yeah, oh man, Clemson. I mean, 2016 when we should have beat them in dope, the phantom clipping call when Dalvin ran all over them like a maniac. That still makes me so mad because they remember they won the championship that year, and we would have beat them. I don't think they would have went there. So yeah, Clemson. They're you know, outside of the obvious, Miami and Florida, they're the next ones right there. I despise everything about them.
Do you dislike Florida or Miami more?
I'm gonna explain this the way Bobby Bowden did. Because when he said it, I said that's why he's my GOAT. I always will be my GOAT. He said, now Florida State and Miami, there's hate, but it's more like a brother thing. Like, you know, I hate you, I respect you. I still wanna kill you, but I gotta respect them. He said, them Gators, that's pure daggum hate. Period. Period. And me as a Cowboys fan, they're up there with the Eagles. As a North Carolina basketball fan, they're up there with Duke. Like, that's where I put Florida. They're on the front line of teams I can't stand. I don't even care about their basketball team. And when they win the championship, I don't like Florida athletics, period. Just being Florida State fan. I don't like nothing Gators at all. I don't want to see nothing.
Wow. Yeah. I'm already counting down to the Florida preview on Florida at the Voice College Football and Florida State at the Voice College Football. I think you guys are going to enjoy the Tylers. They're kind of like the Mike and Mike of the Voice of College Football.
Yeah. Now, to be a realist, I do think that's one of the games. That's one of the games I have penciled for us. It's going to be really tough to win. As much as I hate them, I think Florida's going to be, you know, pretty decent this year. I don't know if they'll be great or anything, but that's one of the ones that's tricky because we got Clemson on the road. We got Florida on the road. I think NC State's going to be tough on the road. So, and all those games are in that last little part of the season. So it's going to be interesting because it's always tough to win in the swamp. But yeah, you know, the guys you're talking about, you know, the Florida guys. Oh yeah, when it's around that time, we can definitely do a joint cast with them. I would love to chop it up with some Gator guys.
Oh man, that's gonna be a fun show. Like one of these days, we'll have to have like a crossover of Florida State, Miami, and Florida all in one. Because I mean, I get that Florida, Miami, and Florida State aren't playing each other annually, but who says they can't cross over on the Voice College Football?
There's some hate there too. Yeah, trust me. You on some of those spaces on Twitter? Oh yeah, those Florida Miami fans go at it a little bit.
There you go. You go. Well, with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell to Alabama at the Voice College Football, and click on the notification bell, like, comment, subscribe, share Florida State at the Voice College Football so you never miss another video or another episode from either one of those channels. And with that being said, y'all have a good night, sleep well, stay safe, stay away from that miserable heat, and roll Tide.
Go Noles.
There we go.